Thank you for joining. Today's topic is AI-based surveillance to boost security and work efficiency. It is the co-hosted webinar between Milestone and Hanwha, and we'll talk about how we can use AI-based surveillance to boost security and efficiency. Today's speaker, myself, Heather Mohammed. I'm the community manager for Milestone Systems covering Middle East, Africa, and Turkey region. And I have with me Samuel Kumar, who's the technical training engineer from Hanwha for covering Middle East and Africa region. I'd like to start the webinar with giving you a quick introduction to Milestone. So Milestone Systems is the global leader of open video management software. I'll give you a quick brief on Milestone X Protect, which is our base product. So what is Milestone X Protect? Milestone X Protect is a platform, a video management platform, which is fully open, and it allows you to fit in pieces of puzzles of your security surveillance systems. And we bring, how do we do this? We bring these niche technologies coming from community partners, one of which is Hanwha, and we bring these technologies together, be it camera analytics, be it facial recognition system, access control, perimeter detection, all of these systems. XProtect is the open platform video management software that allows you to connect to all of these niche technologies coming from our community partners and to fulfill the solution stack for the end customers. Uh, as you know, when we talk about video surveillance, obviously the optical sensor, which is the camera, plays a very important role because they are the source of video data coming to our platform. We are very proud to say that we stand out in the industry today by having 8,500 plus devices integrated to our platform. And these are not just ONVIF supported devices. We developed the native device drivers to these cameras coming from 175 different manufacturers globally. What I mean by native device driver, meaning that we just don't get the normal stream, which is ONVIF supported, but all the other functionalities that the camera support, the extensive tampering alert or other edge-based analytics, which we'll talk about extensively today, all of these capabilities on the camera are fully supported with the native device driver that we develop for these our partners, one of which is Hanwha, which we'll see later during the webinar how we work with them. We have a global footprint of several offices around the globe and partners around the globe as well, be it the technology partners, which we refer to as our community partners also, and our resellers and system integrators with a very widespread global partnerships that we have around the globe. So I like to talk about the open platform. Since the inception of Milestone back in 1998, open platform is something that we have advocated since the day one. Open platform is something that is in the DNA of Milestone from the day one. All our focus, all our innovation and technology is all around open platform. And I'll like to talk about some of the advantages of open platform. As you know, the technology is evolving each and every day. We see that lots and lots of new technologies coming up. Even if you talk about the surveillance today, it's not the conventional surveillance anymore, where you have a normal camera that is recording, you're getting the stream, and you do live and playback. The industry has evolved. We have seen great new technologies. We have seen artificial intelligence. It's a buzzword these days. IoT devices, machine learning algorithms, so on and so forth. So the open platform, like Milestone, allows you to onboard these technologies, adapt these technologies into your surveillance systems, into your business systems. And by enabling video, you can have this great platform which can be used in different verticals, be it safe city, be it smart city, transport, retail, or even in beyond security cases. So Milestone platform, which is open, allows you this freedom of choice to onboard and work with those niche technologies that are out there within our community, within our technology alliances like Hanwha. So you can really fulfill the solution stack of your surveillance system based on your requirements or based on end user requirement, and you can have uh, best of the class technologies that you're looking for in each category. It's not that you have 80% of VMS or 60% of analytics or 40% of access control system, but you have the freedom of choice here to onboard 100% of every technology that you want to work with. And that's the beauty of open platform. And that's what Milestone Open Platform brings on the table to our customers. And that's how we onboard and work with our great relationship and community partnerships that we have with various partners, technology partners. So as I was mentioning, the industry has evolved, and these days we see lots of new innovations in the surveillance industry by enabling the video. We have seen the autonomous devices, for example, IoT devices. It's just not the camera at the edge these days. We have seen a lot of new sensors, temperature monitoring sensor, humidity sensors, and so on and so forth. So a lot of non-video sensors are in the market as well these days, and you get to work with these and you can build really intelligent solutions with those. We've seen the evolution of AI algorithms, machine learning, a lot of new technologies, a lot of new use cases are coming up in the market. Autonomous systems, we are talking about drones, we are talking about autonomous robots these days that can be used in many different use cases. Augmented reality is another big technology initiative these days. You can literally have your control room operation with smart glasses, having augmented reality in your control room, where you don't need those big smart walls to monitor your system. You can have really intelligent, smart technologies these days. So the point being, the industry has evolved, and you really need the platform, the software platform that enables these technologies to work with. And that's what Milestone brings to our customers. So what is the smart intelligence solution? When we talk about smart and intelligent solution, we talk about, yes, obviously we enable the video on our platform by our partners like Hanwha, who produce and manufacture these great edge devices, cameras with a lot of analytics. So video analytics, AI and self-learning algorithms are in demand these days. We're looking at IoT devices, a lot of new sensors that are out there in the market, not just audio or video. We have seen great products, new different technologies coming up in audio as well. For instance, the gun detection and other similar products. Uh, Modular approach, flexible to deploy as well. Yes, it's easy to say that we have the open platform and you can onboard these technology, but there has to be flexibility. There has to be a way to onboard these technologies simply off the shelf without going to a lot of complexity. So intelligent solution, when we talk about intelligent smart solution, it should offer all these capabilities. So I will not go into each and every feature but something that is really important and something really exciting that we have launched within Milestone is the centralized search feature. So what is centralized search? When I say that we can integrate to a lot of these community technologies that we work with, be it access control system, be it video analytics, facial recognition system, number plate recognition system, traffic management, parking management, so on and so forth. Yes, uh, it's easy to say that I can receive alerts and events, but what do I do with all this data that is coming onto my platform? How do I make sense of all this data? How do I improve my response time? How do I improve my investigations? That is where this centralized feature in the smart clients plays a pivotal role. What it allows us to do is the different attributes that are coming from our partners, be it video analytics, be it camera partners like Hanwha, for instance, the edge analytics that they have. Centralized search allows us to perform searches on this alarm filter based on events, bookmarks, and even the different attributes that are coming from the technology partners. So just to give you an example for you to understand, for instance, I'm working with a system that offers me facial recognition, access control, and as well as number plate recognition. Now I need to put a filter search based on my face to find out when I entered a facility, what door I used to access the facility, and what car plate I was driving when I entered the parking system of that facility. Now, imagine if you're working with those three different segregated systems, you would have to do searches on individual systems, find the alerts on all those individual different systems, one for facial recognition, one for access control, and one for number plate recognition system. And on top, imagine if you have 3 months or 90 days of video to work with. You probably might spend days just to find this one event of your interest, and bringing all this data from different technologies. It's really, really difficult, and it's really time consuming, and you get to lose the efficiency, the operational efficiency that you're looking for. So what centralized search allows you to do is put a filtered search on all this data that is coming onto your platform. So I can put a search on my face with the filter on the search of the door that I access, and as well as on my car number plate. And within no time, I will have a result populated with the video images that I can look through, and I can immediately find the area or footage of interest that I'm looking for. From that 90 days of video, within no time, you'll have your data available with video footage that is of interest to you, and you can do your further investigation, or you can address the critical incident, or have a faster response time to any event or incident that is of interest to you. So it's really powerful. That really shows you the value of working with the open platform that Milestone offers, and how this technology is coming from our different community partners can be used with different attributes, and how you can put filtered search on all this data coming out from our technology partners, and really make useful use of open platform, and have faster response time, faster investigations, and really brings out the true value of the technologies and open platform of Milestone Systems. Another important aspect, as I mentioned previously as well, it's not about the video data anymore. We're seeing non-video sensors in the market. The IoT, Internet of Things, the buzzword these days. We are talking about the sensors like temperature sensors, humidity sensors, and different sensors that are fire sensors, different sensors that which may not necessarily be a video sensor or optical sensor, but sensor to uh, measure different aspects in the environment, IoT basically. So Milestone has also launched a driver framework, which is the framework associated into our MIP SDK, Milestone Integration Platform. It allows our partners, our technology partners, who are the manufacturers of these IoT sensors, to integrate and develop driver and make them self-sufficient to develop these drivers for Milestone, because the driver framework with all its documentation and guide is already available. Uh, a manufacturer or partner can on their own develop a driver for Milestone, and all Milestone has to do is to verify the driver, making sure it is working as it's supposed to be, and the support for that particular sensor is now available for Milestone. So this really helps us to scale, and also it allows us to have faster reach to a market, and to the new technology partners that we work with, who are not just the video sensors partners, but also produce IoT sensors and any other different sensor which is non-video device. So it gets allows us to onboard those devices, those partners onto Milestone platform, and then you can develop multiple use cases depending on your requirement. Again, leveraging on the value of open platform, there's a lot of investment that Milestone is doing, making sure that we have access to all those partners, our developer community, uh, and all those developers out there that are producing and developing some great algorithm based on machine learning and AI. Uh, so what we have also done is we have launched video processing servers. It is based on the open source toolkit GStreamer. GStreamer is being used openly by NVIDIA and by Intel as well. And there's since it's open source, there's a lot of developers out there in the market in the field who are using GStreamer to develop some very nice, interesting applications and source code for AI based on the machine learning and for different use cases. This allows us to onboard all these great algorithms, all these niche technologies, all these niche different codes based on machine learning and AI that are out there, to onboard them onto Milestone platform. But we, as Milestone Open Platform, we enable the video for them, and they can simply work with our platform, and we can develop some really, really interesting use cases depending on different verticals with this service. So how it works is it is part of, again, MIP SDK, Milestone Integration Platform SDK. We have developed a driver that allows us to work with GStreamer. Any partner who has developed their code based on GStreamer, it may be Linux, it may be on the Windows platform, can easily integrate it with Milestone using this video processing service. It can be hosted in the cloud environment, or it can be on-prem. So it really gives the flexibility, and it also allows a lot of those interesting technologies and partners that are out there not to just get first familiarize themselves with Milestone SDK, learn Milestone environment. Whereas if they have something readily available, and since we are using and we have the support for open source toolkit like GStreamer, it's very easy to couple them together, bring them to our platform. So this really allows us to scale, to bring more interesting solutions to our platform, and as well as it really allows us a faster approach to the market and on onboarding all these great solutions that are out there in the market based on AI or machine learning and so on and so forth. So I'd like to hand it over to my friend Samuel from Hanwha, who'll walk us through what Hanwha has developed in terms of cameras and how they work with Milestone, and what are the new technologies, new series, and what are the new AI features that they've developed on the cameras. So Samuel will walk us through.
Thank you, Haider. Am I audible?
Yes, Samuel.
Okay, so I would like to share my screen.
Yes, Samuel, you can see your screen now.
Okay, so sorry, Taz, can you also tell me if you're seeing the presenter view or the PowerPoint?
We're seeing the presenter view.
Okay, just a minute.
That's fine now.
Okay, good. Hello everyone, my name is Samuel Kumar. Today we will talk about our new lineup, that is AI cameras, and the technology that is running inside the camera. For those who are not familiar about our brand, it is you see two names, Hanwha Techway, and WiseNet. So Hanwha is a company. Hanwha Techway is a subsidiary which makes CCTV. And the CCTV products that we make, we name it as WiseNet. So WiseNet is our camera. Some more introduction about Hanwha is a Fortune 500 company. So all the companies in the world, the top 500 companies, Hanwha is ranked as one of them. Our rank is 244. In South Korea, it is the 8th largest company. In the cameras, we are in the top 5. So let's move forward. Okay, so what is AI? AI refers to artificial intelligence. We all have heard about it. There's a lot of hype recently. You hear about AI almost everywhere. The most recent is in the refrigerator with AI. The purpose of that is to find out if the stock is running out or give you recipe suggestions. So all in all, you hear a lot about AI, but the fact is AI has been there since 1950. Now, why is it not popular? Because back then the accuracy was very poor. All right. Secondly, the processing capacity to improve the accuracy was also not available. All right. Now, there are other words that you hear within AI called machine learning, deep learning. What is the difference between them? So quickly to explain, AI is just the umbrella, like the parent company kind of situation. So it's just the umbrella. Under AI, there are different ways you train the computer. All right. The first step that came across was the machine learning. In machine learning, as a programmer or a scientist, you have to train the computer to make decisions. All right. When I say train the computer, you have to. It's called. You have to train the computer. It's called informed decisions. So the computer makes informed decisions based on the knowledge that it received, or the information, or the programming, or the formula, or the algorithm that it has. For example, if you're trying to quickly, in this particular scene, if you're trying to identify the vehicles, all right, there are different types of vehicles in this scene. Some of them are trucks, some of them are vans, some of them are 4x4, then you have cycle, then you have different types of vehicles, right? So if I have to train the computer to identify the different types of vehicles, I should be so knowledgeable to know the dimension of the vehicle, the type of the vehicle, what are the different ways to differentiate this vehicle. So it is very difficult for me to train a computer to fully understand the different vehicles in the entire world. But if it is just two vehicle, car or cycle, it's very easy, right? You just say two wheels, bicycle, four wheels, car. But if you have to do much further, what are the different types of vehicles? So all have four wheels. So there is more information required. Now that information I cannot give because I don't really know about cars a lot in that case. So that's why another word came, that is deep learning. Deep learning is a method of machine learning where the computer itself or the camera itself is trained to learn by itself, in the sense that you're telling the camera, I will show you hundreds of thousands of pictures of a van, and now you figure out what are those attributes that make it a van. All right, and then I will show different types of cycles. Then the camera itself will figure out, okay, if it is a cycle, it should have a certain handle structure, it should have a certain pedal structure, it should have certain wheels and spikes. So it tries to figure out by itself. All right, deep learning is similar to how we learn as human beings, in the sense we learn about different objects like cats, dogs, ball. Every object that you see around you, you have seen it from your childhood and then you learned it subconsciously. Same way, you are making the computer learn by itself. That is deep learning. All right, let's move forward. So our cameras, they use deep learning algorithm. Deep learning is a very high processor intensive, and the best part today is the camera, the processing or the deep learning is running inside the camera. So there is no additional investment required to buy a analytic processing server. So your total cost of ownership is only just the camera, and the analytics are built in. So it's like a smoke detector. It detects the alarm and sends you the signal, right? So same way, the camera itself does the decision and sends the information to VMS platform. Another quick example is in machine learning, why it is not good is it only looks for the information that I have already fed into the system. If I say to my home automation system, I say, if you hear words from me called dark, if I say dark, if I say turn on the light on, then the computer will turn it on. However, in deep learning, you don't have to do that. The camera, from different experiences or the different you would say information that it has gathered so far, it will try to understand what you're trying to say. For example, if I just say I cannot see anything, the computer will understand globally how many people have said, okay, I cannot see anything, and after that they try to switch on the light. So the computer tries to understand that, just like a human being. So this is deep learning. So you don't have to be very specific and say, I cannot see, sorry, what do you say, it is dark or light. So that is a difference between machine learning and deep learning. All right. Now, in quickly, machine learning is very less processor intensive. Deep learning, just to make one decision, the camera has to do tens of thousands, minimum 10,000 decision it has to take, and then come to a conclusion. So when you put a car, it tries to calculate, first it's a cycle, whether it is a bicycle. Then under car, it tries to calculate what are the different types I have. And then it says, okay, this is not a van. So it tries to do all that by itself. So all of them require calculation, right? So how does deep learning help CCTV to do the standard analytics better? All right. In this picture, what you see is I am trying to configure, let's say, this is my camera interface. I'm trying to configure line crossing. If someone crosses a line, I need an alarm. So the traditional way of doing is fine. You draw a line, but after that, there is another setting that is done inside the camera. And that setting is size calibration. You tell the camera, ignore any alarms if it is a small bird or insect or anything that is smaller than the blue color box. All right, so you tell the size, detect and trigger an alarm if any object is bigger than the blue box and smaller than the red box. All right, so let's say you're configuring around the blue box as 3 feet, and then the red box has 6 feet for a person. All right, fine. Now the camera now is only looking for pixel size to identify the object. Now if you do this in the traditional method, there is a chance for false alarm, and very much there is a chance. The reason is, if the person which you said is 6 feet, and if he is not, maybe he fell down or is crawling, the camera will foresee that because it thinks it is not a person, right? So that is the downside of using the traditional method of analytics. So what people generally do is they try to detect every alarm in the traditional method and filter it later. But in AI, you don't have to do that. How? Because the camera has learned how different people look, how they walk, what are their features. It doesn't matter if you're looking at the camera or not. Even if you're walking behind, the camera knows that it is a person. And on the left side, what we see is traditional analytics. Even if the branch is moving, it will understand that, okay, the branch size is the same size of a human, so that means it's an alarm. That is the issue with the traditional analytics. With AI, it doesn't matter even if there is a storm, even if there is a earthquake, even if there is rain, it doesn't matter. The camera is only looking for the person, so it is that accurate. When it comes to vehicles, same. The camera is not bothered by any other details in the scene. It is only capturing and looking at vehicles. If you see closely on the left side, you will find that it is automatically taking snapshots. We call it best shot. So when you do search in the Milestone VMS for a red car, you will get this detail, and then you can play back the video. So this shot is what the camera takes. What else does it do? It tries to categorize the vehicle as a standard saloon car or a truck. So you can even classify your search or filter your search. Maybe a truck is unauthorized in this road, so you can search how many trucks came. So in that way, you can classify. The camera can identify these objects. How does it help with the traditional analytics. There are traditional analytics in the camera. We call it appear and disappear. If an object is suddenly missing from the scene, it will raise an alarm. Or if you draw a line, just like we did in the video, it will raise an alarm. You can draw multiple lines, 8 lines. Same enter exit. You instead of a line, you draw a zone. If any if any object moves away from the zone after midnight, you can set the time. Let's say after 6 p.m. or 12 p.m. You don't want any car moving from a certain area, a VIP area or something like that. So all these alarms initially was done with pixel size, but with AI, what you do is you don't set pixel size anymore. You just say if a person, the tick box, if a person crosses a line, raise the alarm, or leave the person if any vehicle crosses the line, raise an alarm. You don't have to worry about object size anymore. It can be a child, it can be a old lady, it can be in a wheelchair, it doesn't matter. It knows how a person looks. Okay. How to identify the AI camera in our portfolio? We have so many cameras, 300 plus, but you have to know which camera has got AI, right? So out of the majority series that we have, Q, X, P, and T, the AI currently is available in the P series, right? So again, the bottom left, P series. How to identify whether under P series, if the camera has AI. So whenever you receive any model, the first letter will tell you whether, first letter will tell you what series it is. If it is P, so of course it's a P series. And then after these 3 letters and the dash, hyphen, you will find another letter A. This represents that the camera has got AI, all right? So this is how you identify. If you don't find these 2 letters, as of today, that means your camera is not an AI camera. All right, it can be in P series, but the letter A should be available. Now, different types of cameras are required for any project. You need a standard dome, indoor domes, flush mount domes. Yes, they are available. They come with the usual varifocal lenses, good true WDR. They have IP rating, and they were fully integrated to Milestone VMS. The same dome cameras are available for outdoor applications. The outdoor cameras are heavily rated IP6K 9K for high pressure water jet cleaning in quite a rugged environment. The camera can be installed. Similarly, bullet shape is also available for outdoor use. And for legacy enclosures, you can use the standard box camera with the same function. All the cameras that we've launched right now is 4K resolution. And this slide will be sent to you. So it's got the different mounting options, wall mount, parapet mount, pole mount, etc. Now let's study what the camera can learn from the scene. First, for the person, it can tell you whether he's a male or a female. Then it can identify what he's wearing, for example, eyeglass. It can, from the face, it can estimate his age group. Then it can tell you if he's carrying a bag. Because again, I always say, if somebody is planning something, they probably might be carrying something. Then the best one is the color of his cloth. You can tell and filter, or the camera will understand and keep in its memory, in the VMS memory, that all right, I've seen a guy with a red shirt or the black shirt, the blue shirt, and it will keep it saved in the database. So you can have 2 colors, top and trouser color can be different. You can search 2 colors as well. On the left side, for vehicles, we have different types of vehicles that you can categorize, like trucks, cycles, train, saloon cars, and it will also capture just the number plate, and yeah, so it will just save the number plate as a picture. Okay. All right, just to summarize this, we have already covered: gender, color, hat, bag, vehicle type, and its color, license plate by shot, gender, age, whether he's wearing a hat, and class. Okay. All right. So how is it integrated to Milestone? Deeply integrated, like Mr. Hyder was saying. It's not just on-with integration. On-with is like English language. Everybody speaks English, but in mother tongue you can speak much better. So that is the level of integration. It's how Milestone speaks the native language of the camera. So every single feature of the camera is available with Milestone, and we take the relationship seriously in such a manner that every single model that we have, we ensure that all this feature, for example, video input, motion detection, VA means video analytics, all of them are integrated and tested with Milestone. Now you will see a demonstration from Haider.
Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you.
Okay, hope you can see my screen now. Samuel, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Oh, great. So what I'm going to show you here is that what we have developed with AI series of Hanwha cameras. We have jointly developed a plugin, metadata plugin for XProtect. What it allows us to do is get all these attributes that Samuel just mentioned, face, and all the other attributes related to vehicles. We get these analysis from the AI camera and the events based on these attributes. We using the plugin, we get these onto Milestone. And then using the centralized search feature that I mentioned earlier, you can perform this filtered search on your footage, basically, for your investigation, for your forensic analysis, and other investigations. This plugin is available free of charge. Using this AI capabilities of Hanwha cameras on Milestone does not require any special licensing. Normal device license that you have for each device to work with Milestone is sufficient for all these additional functionalities. So that adds lots of benefits on how you can use these edge analytics and really, upscale your surveillance installation with a lot of these added add-on functionalities at no cost. So you can bring down the total cost of ownership. Plus, you're bringing a lot of intelligence, faster response time, a lot of investigation capabilities to your systems. So I'll just demonstrate how this plugin works and how the Milestone centralized search is used uh, based on these attributes, and how can you really perform those searches on your video footage for forensic analysis and faster investigations. And as I was mentioning before, you might have months and months of video, but it's just that one particular event or one particular investigation that you need to do. You can imagine the laborious work that you have to do if you have to go through manually of all the video footage. But this really adds a lot of value that within no time you can have the results populated based on your video footage, and you can really see the footage of the interest that you're looking for, be it the evidence, be it the investigation you're trying to do. So it really adds a lot of value there. So in this first example, what we'll see is we'll select the camera. This is the Milestone interface, and I'll perform the centralized search. I've selected the camera, and then I'm going to attributes that Hanwha offers. So I'll select male, wearing long sleeves, wearing black color clothes, and you can see immediately the results have popped up on your video footage, and you can immediately play back the video of interest based on this particular filter that you have just applied with all the details of the attributes you've just put in your search filter. So of all the footage that you have in your recording, this filter that you've applied has brought up this You can further optimize it by looking for the person who are wearing hat. Again, this is the attribute of the camera itself, which is available within Milestone, and we can review the footage based on different filters. Now I'm looking for a person wearing a red shirt, and you see how quickly the search results have popped up based on your filter. A person wearing red plus short sleeve as well. So you can see the results are popped up, and you can do your investigation based on these filters. So as you can see, that is how easy it is to use this filter search centralized capability in Milestone, getting all these attributes and making the best use of AI capabilities of these cameras on from Hanwha onto Milestone platform. If you see on the interface, you can even put a start and end time and date for your filtered search, and you can select any number of cameras of your choice, and you can apply this cumulative search capabilities on the cameras that you've selected. Here in the example, we have selected two cameras, as you can see here. The two cameras were selected, and a same filter was applied on two cameras, and it has populated the search. I can add more cameras. So just imagine if this was a corridor having 5 cameras, I could have selected those 5 cameras and applied the same search, and I could populate the result based on the queries. So very smarter way of doing the investigations, less time consuming and very productive for your daily operations. And the best part is you're actually making full use of the AI capabilities on the edge device, which is the Hanwha camera in this case. In this particular example, we'll show the other capabilities. Now we are going and applying a filter on vehicle. So I've selected a vehicle, car, only black colors, and you can see how quickly the search results are populated. Now I've selected and I can play back the footage of my interest based on the filter that I've applied. I can search for the yellow vehicle, and as you can see in the scene, wherever there was a yellow vehicle, I can immediately populate the result based on that, and I can do my search capabilities and interest. And now I can look for bicycles, for example, in the video footage based on these cameras. Whenever there was a bicycle detected in the screen, in the video footage based on the camera attributes, I can populate these results and I can perform my investigations. So as you can see, this is how easy it is to use, and you can see the value this plugin with Milestone Centralized Search brings to your investigation and to your surveillance system. You can really perform smarter investigation, reduce response times, and really smart way of handling the critical situation or critical events. And even if you're gathering the investigation footage or looking for some investigative results, you can really perform the searches very efficiently, and all making full use of AI capabilities on the edge devices of Hanwha cameras. Now, how you can avail this plugin? As you all know, Milestone has Milestone Marketplace. It is available on our website. If you simply go to milestonesys.com and look for Milestone Marketplace, search for Hanwha, and you'll be reaching on this landing page, Hanwha AI Camera Metadata Plugin, with all the details, the software versions that we support, the firmwares on the cameras that are supported, the attributes that are supported, full documentation, installation guide, even the download link from the plugin, the videos on how to use this plugin, full collateral on the documentation, quick guide, admin manual, download links, and lots of other information that might be of interest to you. And like I said, every partner that we have listed on Milestone Marketplace, like Hanwha, is fully verified by Milestone. So you are rest assured that the plugin is already verified. It will work as it's supposed to be. So it gives you extra peace of mind that you're not just using the integration that is just out there and somebody is developing. It's totally verified between Milestone and Hanwha. You're rest assured that it will work as it's supposed to be. So I do encourage every one of you to log into Milestone Marketplace, search for the solutions that you're looking for, search for Hanwha AI camera metadata plugin. Read more about it, look for the videos, go through the installation. You're more than welcome to download the plugin, try to use it within your current infrastructure or install base that you have with Milestone and Hanwha, and see how it really performs and enhances your surveillance systems that you have with Hanwha and Milestone. So highly encourage you to explore this. This is all that we wanted to cover for this webinar. We'll take questions. If you have any questions now, you can type them in and we'll try to answer it jointly, Samuel and myself. In case you want to reach out to us later, please drop an email to Samuel or myself or any of our colleagues within Hanwha and Milestone, and we'll be gladly respond to your queries and questions. Later, we'll be sharing the recording of this webinar, so you're welcome to go through it again or share with your colleagues, or if you have any queries, just reach out to us. So we'll take the questions now if there are any. So I have a question. Is Milestone supporting on-with cameras? Yes, of course. We have a universal driver, so any on-with supported camera can be supported. Obviously, it needs to be tested, but yes, we very much support on-with compliant cameras. Yes, the question is that will this webinar be shared? Yes, the recording will be shared with all the attendees. So later on, we'll share the webinars. So another question is whether do we support all the cameras and makes and models? It depends. We have, if you log into Milestone website, milestonesys.com, there is a field where you can search for the supported devices, and you have the list of all the 8,500 plus cameras with model numbers that I mentioned earlier. There's a list from different manufacturers, 175 plus manufacturers. You can simply type in the model number or manufacturer name, and you can find out what cameras do we support. If it's just the on-with camera that you're looking to work on Milestone, yes, we have a universal on-with driver. You can test it by plugging in the on-with camera and use universal driver. It will work. So on-with as it is a standard way of using the camera stream. It's an on-with protocol that is industry standard, and we support that, so it will work. Another question is there a storage requirement for metadata per camera? Yes, by default, we store the metadata with the video footage. So if you have any requirements, you can reach out to our pre-sales team in your region. And when we have our own calculator, when we calculate the based on your project sizing, resolution, FPS, resolution, we can come up with the storage sizing. By default, we store the metadata with the video footage. Another question is, do we support the bounding boxes in Xprotect? Yes, bounding boxes for the supported cameras are fully supported in Milestone as metadata. So any device that supports metadata, and we have the device driver for it. Like I said, you can search for the supported devices on Milestone supported devices on our website. Simply log into milestonesys.com, look for supported devices. You can go through and any model, you can find out if it's the analytics are supported on that. You can get all this list. But yes, bounding boxes for many devices as coming in the metadata field are supported. So I'm just waiting for if somebody has more questions. So Samuel, there's a question. How
Yeah.
is
How
AI
is AI?
different in terms
Okay.
of area of selection from machine learning in Hanwha cameras?
I did not fully get the question. How AI, machine learning as there's another way of machine learning, that is deep learning. So deep learning falls under machine learning, so it's not different from each other. So how is AI different? I'm not sure I get your question correctly. There's another question, is AI on the edge of the camera? Yes, AI is on the edge of the camera.
Yeah, so just to add to that, there's no intermediate servers or hardware that is required in between. Hanwha chipset on the camera itself supports all the AI capabilities. And once you plug in the cameras, all those AI features, like I mentioned, by default, with the native device drivers are fully supported onto Milestone. And all you have to do is just do the little bit of configuration on the camera interface, and you'll get the results back in Milestone. And if you have this plugin that we demonstrated, you can perform the search filters based on those AI attributes. Good. I see that there's no more question. However, like I mentioned, we'll be sharing the webinar recording, and feel free to revert back to us if you have any questions. There's one more question that I can see. For the cameras in P series that have built-in features, do we need to buy any licenses?
No license is required. This is a built-in feature within the P series camera. So when you say P&O A9080 or A9081, so as long as the model number says it is the AI camera or AI enabled camera, no additional license required. Whatever features you saw is built in within the camera.
Great.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Great. Thank you everyone for joining the webinar. I really hope it was useful, and you can take the benefits out of this webinar and really work with your customer and for your installations to enhance the capabilities and use these great features that we have demonstrated here today. So if there are any more questions, you can reach out to us later, and we'll be sharing the webinar as I mentioned. I can see there's one last question. How's the accuracy of face recognition? And yes, I'll send out the webinar recording. Thank you everyone. I'll be sharing the webinar, and if there are any more questions, we can take them later. Thank you for joining, and hope this was useful for you. Thank you.